Hi, I'm Sally Russell. Thank you for tuning into this episode of HIC Talks. Welcome to Helsingborg. This is a podcast series in English designed to demystify the city of Helsingborg for its international residents. In the last episode of this series, we talked to Ali Alabdallah, careers coach with Asuria, for hints and tips on joining the labour market in Sweden. Hi, Ali. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Well, we really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you for the last episode of our podcast series. We wanted to look at the challenges that foreigners face when they look for work in Sweden. And as you've previously spoken about this at one of our events, we thought you'd be able to give our audience some very helpful insights.
Yeah.
Ali, your journey has been a very interesting one, and we'd love you to tell our listeners about it. Where are you from and what brought you to Sweden?
Yeah, my name is Ali Alabdallah. I came 2013 as a refugee, and I lived in a refugee camp in Glava 6 months. So I was so curious person, and I make a connection with the local people and ideal organization who came to do the refugee camp and help the refugee with clothes or food, like that, or activities. So yeah, I make some connection there, and my journey began there with the connection with the local people from the day one. Then I lived in Värmland. Then I decided to move to Skåne because the weather. It's more hot here, in Skåne.
Yeah.
It's more, a little bit comparing with the north. So I finished SFE very quick, and I focused too much on Swedish language because
Right.
I noticed that and realized that it's very important to obtain the Swedes' brain and heart, and you can obtain the Swedes' heart and brain by their mother or tongue language.
Thank you, Ali. That's really interesting to hear. So tell us about your work in Syria. I understand you were a journalist.
Yeah, I work there as a journalist in many media houses, newspaper, TV, and etc. in each years. And I worked as translator from Belgian language to Arabic language. I educated me in media and communication in university, and that's maybe connect us to important thing that if you, despite which foreign education that you have in Sweden, you should be proud of it and don't underestimate your home country education or career or what you work with before. Be proud about yourself and don't underestimate your abilities and education. And when I came to Sweden, actually, I have this doubts in my brain that I am as I am. But I mean that maybe the education my from home country helped me to get in the labor market, because if you have education, some education, and so it'd be a little bit more easier to get in the labor market comparing with an educated person. But there is possibility in Sweden that there is education, free education, so you can get some education and get in the labor market. And that's what we try in Asuria, this company I'm working with to motivate person to get the right way to the work like that.
Thank you. Lovely. So I was just going to ask you, actually, you've recently started work as a careers coach with a recruitment company. And so congratulations for that. So just remind us of the name. I think you said Asuria, is that right?
Asuria, yeah. The company started in Australia for 20 years ago and have got a long experience with working to support and motivate the work seekers in the labor market.
Thank you. And do they focus on a particular target group?
Yeah, we focus on, we can say, all the work seekers, job seekers, all the people who would like find their choice in their life to live in good life. And so we will support them. So in Asuria, we have many experience, people from many different country, different experience, perspective. And this is the power of our work because we have diversity. So that means innovation and new things, a new perspective. And we can now reach to the many, especially the foreign work seekers, So we work actually with all the people who looking for to find job, the young people, the Swedish people, the foreign-born work seekers, all the people who would like to be motivated to get in the labor market, get motivation, inspiration somewhere. If we talk now about the biggest minority or community who living in Sweden, they are Arabic speakers. That's why I'm trying to support them and give them some motivation, inspiration, and hope. It's very important. I like this word, hope, because they came from, Sally, they came from many country, economical difficult situation, war, or maybe EU citizens. When any person, despite of what's the reason they came to the Sweden war or economic situation or whatever, they feel some kind of worries related to how I can find job. It's not easy to get in the labor market in Sweden. Does I need language, or does I need focus on the network, or what I should do? So they need some help. And that's why I am here to help the people via this war career coach in Asuria.
Yeah, good. Oh, thank you, Ali. That's great. And how was it for you when you first arrived in Sweden? Did you find it hard to get established and to find work?
Good question. As long as the person curiosity, it's the key to understand the Swedish system, how it's work, and dare a little bit. When I say dare, it doesn't mean that we should be Iron Man. No. Someone, Ali, you have many of demands on the people. No. Just to be a little bit curious, don't be shy to ask, to get some help, or to, how I can find job, how I can to ask. About the possibility, about how you can solve the many obstacles or challenges that we have in our life. So it's very important. And what I do, I'm not shy to ask the people how I can do that. So another thing is flexibility. It's very important. Curiosity, flexibility, and focus on the connections. So I don't think that I feel that it's very hard to get in the labor market. The big challenge that face us as foreigners, first, the language. It's very important to learn it, and it takes whole the life. I can promise. So now I'm working, and every day learn me from my colleague Johanna. So I like that. So to be curious and open person, it helps a lot to get in the labor market or reach your goal in the same time. But the language is very important. Maybe it's a little bit challenge, but it's not big a challenge as long as that you try to learn it.
But I think one of the things that you said just now as well, it's very hard, isn't it, a lot of the time to actually ask for help, to get to the position where we're able in ourselves to ask other people for help, because we all want to do the best for ourselves, don't we? We all want to be independent. We all want to try and stand on our own 2 feet. But it's quite hard, I think, thinking, I actually do need to ask people for help. I know I'm quite bad at that myself.
As you said, it's not easy to ask the people about the help, what's about everything that related to the new life in Sweden. Exactly. I agree with you.
And I think, as we've discussed on this podcast before with other people, that, the Swedish people have a reputation for being reserved. I don't actually agree with that. I don't think they are really.
Me too,
I think it's more a question of, I think they're very respectful, and I think they're quite dignified. But I think that what we've observed quite a few times is that if you ask a Swedish person for help, they're only too happy to give it and to explain things to you. And
maybe that this discussion lead us to how we can make friends. You say that Swedish, many of people who coming to Sweden, they say they are reserved, non-social people. I don't agree with that, because the friendship structure in Sweden, it's totally different from another country. When we talk
Yes.
about the Middle East or collective communities like Latin American countries or Arabic countries, we are collective, and it's very easy to make friends like that without needs to have something common interests
Yeah.
like sport like that. But in Sweden, we need something common interests, maybe work, maybe after work, maybe sport, hobby like that to make some confidence. When you know this person and make some confidence bridge between this person, so it will be easy to make friends. And you notice how they are very, very social people and kind people like that.
So, how did you find work when you first arrived?
Yeah, I found work. The first work actually as a foreign-born work seekers, the first step to the work is actually the most difficult step.
Mhm.
When you get the first work, so it will be easy to get another work and the third. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So the first work actually I get via connections, friends,
Okay.
recommendation. To be open and curious and focus on the Swedish language, it make easier to get in the labor market. It's very important. Swedish
Yeah.
language first, yeah.
Yeah. But also, as you say, it really does show the importance of networking in Sweden, which we talk about again and again. Knowing people, and as you say, having recommendations, and that's why also volunteering is so important, because then you can perhaps be volunteering in something that's of interest to you. And as you say, it's very common in Sweden that people make their friendship groups through sports or associations or common interests. I completely agree with that.
Exactly, Sally. So there is many factors that help you to get the work. So it's very important to obtain some Swedish references that came from voluntary work that help you to get the first step in the labor market.
Yeah. So what were the biggest challenges that you faced in finding work?
I think that the first challenge, it's the language.
Yeah.
So I remember when I work in the first workplace, my language, it's not good as now, but I tried and I asked, and my language developed in the workplace. So that's very important to encourage the employers to recruit the foreign-born work seekers, because workplace is very good opportunity to these people to develop their language skills. It's very important that they do their work in good way and they have good idea about the Swedish work system. But if they speak not very well Swedish, it's not whole the world. You mean as long as they do their work in good way. So that's the point. Yeah. So I think that the language again.
Yeah. No, it's very true, isn't it? As you say, if people can just be given the chance to get into the workplace, then their Swedish will just increase enormously as soon as they're there. Yeah.
Exactly.
So another question for you. Do you see any differences regarding gender when it comes to challenges for work?
Equality is a very important question in Sweden, related to, especially that's related to the workplaces. I think that there is no big differences based on the gender in Sweden, but there is still challenges gender-based in Sweden. For example, the construction in Sweden, mostly of the workers there, they are men in Sweden. And the women struggle to have more rights because unfortunately some of employers, they have some stereotypes still. And the women's, they don't have that disability or muscles like the man, and the man, it's more better to do the kind of job, and the women get to be at home with a child like that. And so there is challenges there, but we all together try to motivate the employers to be better in the equality, gender equality in the many workplaces. And it's a kind of our goal in this company. So we work with equality, diversity, motivate people to get to work and inspire them. as well
Okay.
as.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So when did you decide to write a book?
And you meet a lot of people from all the world via Den här Hick.
Yes.
And you know how much they have stereotypes and not right information about the labor market or the society. And they have thousands of questions that needs to be answered. So I came to Sweden as refugee and I meet also a lot of people. And I noticed they have a lot of worries, fears, challenges that they meet them. How I can get job, how I can become a friend with the Swedes people. It's not easy.
Yeah.
I can't find them. So that's why I wrote the first book, New Job in New Country.
Yeah.
Then I wrote another book, Money Culture and Culture Work.
Right.
To not just motivate the newcomers, foreign-born job seekers to get in the labor market, to understand in the right way the Swedish society, even to motivate the employers to recruit these people who came to Sweden.
Yeah.
It's very important. We talk in Sweden a lot about newcomers, immigrants. They should get job. Absolutely. It's very important. And they would like to work. Yeah. But I noticed that we forget another side. We should talk about another side, employers.
Yes.
The people they have work.
Yeah.
To recruit, despite of which culture they have. And I noticed we faced a lot of challenges, but more challenges faced the people who came from Middle East or North Africa, etc. So that's why we work to motivate the work seekers and another side also the employers to have some knowledge about the another culture. So that's why I wrote this book to give them a kit of knowledge. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I think, I've seen you be very active on social media. It looks as if you've had the opportunity to talk about your book and have book signings in lots of different venues. So, yeah, well done. It's very exciting.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think it's a great achievement. So, Ali, what advice would you give to job seekers coming from other countries?
Yes, as I said, curiosity, flexibility, make Swedish friends from the day one that you came to Sweden. It's very important because the Swedish people have more knowledge and idea about the Sweden. And mostly of them, they have good information and right information. And it's very important to not underestimate your education.
Right.
Sometimes I become a little bit sad when I meet person who have very high education, maybe master degree, and work as bus driver. And I ask this person, do you enjoy there? He said to me, no. If this person enjoy, it's okay. But he said, no, I'm not enjoy that. I don't find job. So that's why I take this job. It's not fault. I don't think it's not fault, but it's very important to enjoy in this job. So don't underestimate your abilities and qualifications and education.
But this is true, as this is something that we find with HIC an awful lot. We meet a huge number of people who are extremely well qualified in their own country. And it's really hard for people frequently to find something, which is why a lot of them either end up doing something that is completely different from their own background, or perhaps they even give up and go back to their home country. Or another avenue, actually, for people quite often is to start up their own business if they're able to. It's relatively easy to start a business in Sweden, but we can just, as you say, perhaps persuade employers to look more at taking on foreign talent and help nurture the experience and the qualifications that people already have, then I think it would be a win-win situation.
That's why we are here in Asuria. We try to motivate and help people to get the job they like and they enjoy. So we work with heart, enterprising, like that.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That sounds good. So what else can we do to persuade employers to take on foreign talent living in Sweden?
I think it's very important to employees to be more open, don't be afraid from another culture, and educate themselves in intercultural communication, it's called.
Mhm.
So it's related to the diversity question, but many of our employers become hesitate or don't have too much information or knowledge about how can they recruit this person from another country, or introduce this person who came to their company, or they have some thoughts, oh, this person can enjoy with us, can understand the Swedish work culture or not. So we talk about the hesitation for employers. So it's very important to dare or recruit these people who coming from another country. Don't be afraid, and think how much they can add to your workplaces. We
Yeah.
talk about when you recruit people from another country, it means a new perspective, etc.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. And that's something, again, we think about a lot with HIC, because we do feel that with the different people we meet from different countries, they're able to bring knowledge of their culture. They're able to bring, as you say, a different perspective.
exactly.
And quite often bring contacts and experience, which
Yeah,
means that company can also grow and develop in different ways. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you have any other top tips for foreign-born job seekers?
If they don't have education, so they can get education. Vocational education in Sweden is very popular.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they can get this opportunity, and it leads to the work. And I am here to help the people to get the right vocational education or any education, or to get the right job to them. Yeah, so it's my top tips for them:
Thank you.
language, network, education.
Yeah, thank you. That's brilliant.
Welcome.
So, do people have to sign up through Arbetsförmedling first in order to be able to use your services?
Exactly. They should be registered in Arbetsförmedlingen first. Then they mention our name, the company of the
Mhm.
Asuria. Then they can become with us with this package of supporting. In this new program, it's called Rosta och Matcha. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And does that last for a particular amount of time? Is it
Yeah.
a sort of a set program?
Yeah. Exactly. Mm. Yeah.
So, how long could people be? Would they be registered with you for a particular amount of time, or how does it work?
The first time they register with us, so we have some program to them, supporting a program. They stay with us 6 months. Then the Arbetsförmedlingen decide if they will stay with us or not.
Okay.
So I motivate and I say to the people who are listening to us to become with us,
Mm.
Asuria, because we do all the best to help the people to get the right work, the work or education that lead to the work. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Lovely. Thank you. Well, thank you
Thank you
very
very
much,
much.
Ali. Thank you for all your very valuable insights. And you'll
Thank
be
you.
speaking again. We've got an event coming up on the 14th of October called Ways into Work #3. You'll be speaking at that then. So we'll meet in person.
Great. I'm looking for this event, Sally.
Yeah, yeah. In the meantime, if people would like to get in touch with you, how could they reach you?
They can reach me
Mm-hmm.
email to me, Ali Alabdallah
As,
at Asuria
yeah,
.sa, or social media, or whatever. Yeah, Asuria. They
yeah.
can find me via Asuria.
And well, the website will be on the notes as well for the podcast.
It's good. Yeah.
Great. All right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much for lovely and important talking
Thank you.
for this. And I appreciate too much your work, Sally. You do very good work in Helsingborg. So
Thank you very
great. Good
much.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ali. We'll
Thank you.
look
Have a
forward to
nice
seeing
day.
you soon.
See you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thanks to Ali for his reflections and suggestions, and to you for listening. We really hope you found this podcast series useful. You're very welcome to find out more about HIC on our website, hiconnections.eu, or find us on social media. We're on Instagram at HI Connections, and on Facebook and LinkedIn, we're at Helsingborg International Connections. You can also find us on YouTube. We'd love to hear what you think, so please get in touch. Thank you to the Vision Fund and Helsingborg Stad for their support in making the series possible, and to all our fantastic guests. We really couldn't have done this without you. Thanks again.